Hello, Phil.
Good evening, Sandy. How are you?
Doing all right, thanks.
Shut my dryer off.
There we go.
I saw it said it's recording, so that was what Wayne asked, requested that we record.
Yeah, he just called me
Yeah.
and yes, it's being recorded.
Mm.
There's Mr.
Andy?
Wagner.
Evening, Bill.
I seem to always have a hard time signing on to Zoom.
It was super easy for me tonight. I went right out of the email and hit the link out of the email and it came right in.
I do that. I have a Zoom set up that I use for personal Zoom meetings, and it goes right there,
Mhm.
which is not Sandy's meeting. So I need to create join a meeting, and it wants an ID and password. Well, that's in part of that 75-digit code. So I try and copy and paste the meeting ID, which is 12 digits, and then the password's 100,000. And I can't, it won't let me copy and paste. So I manually key in that gobbledygook.
Oh, my goodness.
It's awful. I volunteer for an organization up in Raleigh, and we do Zoom meetings regularly, and very rarely does it go smoothly. I think because I have the personal account, so I have my own ID, and it goes right to that as a default.
Good evening, Kitty.
Hi, how's everybody
Hi.
doing?
I
Doing
can't-
well today. I didn't know you could copy and paste one time a while back, and I was doing that, and it was 2 lines of code. And I tried to do them one at a time, and I just, at the wee hours of the morning, couldn't do it. And my son said, just copy and paste it in. And I said, oh, I've spent 4 hours doing it. Oh, that's copy and paste.
Is that a chat, Sandy?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if that was working.
I saw, I'm gonna try and chat you back. Did you get it? There we go.
Yeah. There it is.
Says
Yep.
I got it.
When I was working, we had a similar thing to Zoom that we would use for conference calls. And the back channel, like we have here on Zoom, was where all the action was. Somebody be talking, and all of the commentary about what they were saying would be on the back channel.
Hi, Eileen.
Hello, Eileen.
But I'd pop on and say hello before everybody got started.
Mm.
Hi.
Good to see you all. Hey, Kitty.
Hi.
I can't wait to hear about Friday.
It was good. It was good.
Good.
Very good.
Nice small event is a good way to start.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry I missed it, but I was kind of occupied last week.
Yeah. No problem.
I knew you'd understand.
Oh, yeah. We did well. We had more volunteers than what we needed, but we weren't stumbling over ourselves. So it was really good. So the people there got a really good taste of it. Some hadn't done it before, and it was a good
Mhm.
start, a really good start, and they were very appreciative.
Yay. I know you'll be reporting at the meeting, but I've been dying to chat with you. Hey, Phil.
Hey, hello.
Are you able to ride yet?
Oh, yeah. I've been riding for 3 months, longer, 3 months, yeah.
Good,
Mhm.
good. Yeah, I've been doing my running thing and riding on my own, so I don't know who rides with the group anymore.
Yeah, there's just a wee hint of it with the COVID numbers going up that it might come to an end for me group riding. So there's just a
Yeah.
slight hint of that happening right now. I hate it.
Yeah.
Come on, get those vaccines.
I'm nervous about the way things are going
Oh, they're not good.
now.
not
I
good.
mean, if we have to start, dialing back and closing things down when we're just gearing up and getting things going, it's going to be heartbreaking.
It is. I have a friend who's an epidemiologist at New Hanover Regional. Every single patient on the unit is not vaccinated.
Oh
Every
my,
single one.
I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just
She's
don't.
like, I've been calling family members to let them say goodbye to their loved ones for a year and a half. This has got to stop.
Wow.
When you have that doctor's perspective of like, she's the one who's the infectious control doctor who, yeah, she's going to have PTSD for the rest of her life from this.
Oh,
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
So I'm hoping, Phil, that maybe people will get the memo and it'll get back under control. Fingers crossed.
That's all
Yeah.
we can do is hope. Yeah. At some point, I'm thinking it will tip and it will go back the other direction.
Well, already
Okay.
today I've heard of mandates. The VA has mandated that all healthcare professionals have to be vaccinated. New York
Yep.
City, of course, here Novant Health, and
Yep.
you know what? I agree.
I agree.
Because if you can't get people to do what is for the common good, then I guess we need to make it possible for them to
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
Well, on a less serious note, there's I'm still a big Buffalo Bills fan since I came from Buffalo. And they've got a couple of their starting players who are saying, well, I don't believe in vaccines. And
But like they weren't able to go to grammar school without vaccines. That's what's funny. Like you can't even go to elementary school without them. It's like hilarious. Not hilarious. Anyway, sorry, Sandy.
No, the National Football League is got draconian penalties if something happens
Oh yeah.
because you weren't vaccinated.
Yeah.
And that's scaring the heck out of us Buffalo Bills fans. I mean, that's a very small thing compared to people who are really getting sick and dying.
But those are the measures that it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And unfortunately, like just having empathy for the common good is not enough. Now it's going to be like, okay, we'll hit you where it hurts and we'll make you lose a game.
Right.
By forfeit. Oh, okay, maybe now.
The Minnesota Vikings just let go their offensive line coach because he refused to get vaccinated. They let him go. It's like, nope, can't work for us.
Yeah, I mean, Bill can tell you because he was one of our volunteers. We had to have vaccines at the hospital since we had to have a flu shot like forever,
I don't know if you noticed, but Aaron Bazzoli sent a note out today. You now have to send in documented proof.
Yeah.
They've reinstituted the vaccine requirement for all employees and volunteers.
Yeah, well, Novant made that so. And we used to do the same thing with the flu shot, right, Bill? If you got your flu shot somewhere else, you had to bring us in the receipt from Walgreens or wherever.
That's
correct. So that's the thing. Like we've been doing this for a really long time. But anyway, whatever.
Hello, Bridget. Hello, Linda.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, Bill.
Hi.
Bridget, Linda.
Hey, Bill Wagner, welcome.
Hello. What's for dinner?
It's really, really good.
I'm sure.
Pandera strawberry
Sorry, I
and
just
fruit
got
salad.
Okay.
Going on the cob. I will eat that off screen. Because that's not really flattering.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, Beth, did you do Coeur d'Alene yet? Coeur d'Alene?
I did Ironman Coeur d'Alene. It's been a month, actually. It was this time last month that I was suffering through 117 degrees.
Unbelievable. Linda, you have to read her posts on Facebook. You're such a good, honest storyteller, Beth. Like your stories on Facebook are mind blowing.
Oh, thank
Wow.
you.
So good.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Are you glad you did it or are you sorry you did it?
I am really glad I did it. If you'd asked me that the day after, I would have said, ask me in a month.
I got it.
So it was really the hardest thing I've ever done. But I learned a lot from it. And it's good preparation because if I am doing Ironman in Hawaii, then it was perfect practice.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Oh,
get
man.
into,
I
did
am
you get
so
into
involved.
Kona?
Not yet. I have 2 more races to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing
other words,
Ironman
Eileen,
Maryland
yes.
and Ironman Cozumel.
Cozumel, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
darn. Really?
Might as
I
well
was
pick a
actually
good place
supposed
to
to
go.
be doing
So
Lake
sad.
Placid yesterday and I deferred to next year. So yeah, that will be my validation race. But
Think about it. They could be holding these things in Baltimore, Maryland. I mean, you're so lucky. Look where you're going.
I know. Cozumel.
Seriously.
Nice.
Yeah,
They have one in
Kona,
France.
Cozumel, oh darn, right?
Oh darn.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
Well, our treasurer isn't here yet. Mark Johnny, the ride coordinator, he called, said he wasn't going to be able to make the meeting. And our secretary, Wayne, said he wasn't going to make the meeting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Al Chartel said he was, I think it was a message from him. I'm not sure, but I think it said 15-minute late he was going to be.
Okay.
And Charlie Hines said he would be here, but would have to check out early. So
He actually just sent an update that he got called
Yeah.
into work right
Right.
before the meeting started. I saw it like a minute before I logged in.
okay,
Me too.
great. So I guess, I've got committee reports here. If we don't have the ride coordinator or the treasurer's report here from our treasurer yet, I do have the report that he did send out in the email, but we could just go right into having a recap of the Tour de Blueberry. I think that might be a good starting point for us tonight.
All right. So I was going to ask if, Sandy, if there's a way for you to share or let me share my screen.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
So let me allow you to do that.
Okay.
Click the right button.
All right.
Okay, you should be good.
All right. Let's do this then. See if we can get this to work.
Whoa.
Common.
There it is.
Whoa.
There it is.
Yay.
Ta-da! Look, presentation
What?
for Tour de Blueberry. So I thought I would do a little recap and give numbers and miles and other fun stuff, just so we could kind of get a few things, kind of wrap it up. So we had 257 registrations for the live ride. We had 254 people show up, which
Wow.
is amazing.
Yeah.
We had 52 virtual challengers, the Curie Cruisers, which I have a great picture. Thank you, Eileen.
You're welcome.
Of them in a little bit. And they rode over 3,000 miles, which was pretty exciting. And if you include all of our 254 people who showed up for the live ride, that was over 5,000 miles, if they just rode the 22 miler. So I know that we rode over that. So that was kind of fun. So we had $14,000 plus for registrations for the whole thing, which was great. We had expenses over $11,000. And we had over $2,000 in direct donations. And that was when somebody registered and we had the donation button on the Run sign up page. And so at that point, this is something we've never done. They could donate immediately as they registered. So we garnered over $2,000 just from that, which is pretty exciting. And then from the profits that we made and those donations, we have over $5,000 of donations to give as grants. So I'm really excited about that. Not as much as in the past, but considering that this was our comeback year, I'm really excited, and that we had fewer people who were involved. It was really great. So here are some other numbers for you. $200 is merchandise sales. We sold a lot of bike towels on the day of. We had 97 donors, and so we wrote thank you notes to them. Thank you very much, Linda, for helping me with that. Yay! I really could not have done it without you, so I really appreciate you doing that.
I'm capable of doing.
It was awesome. It was very handy. Thank you. More numbers is we had leftovers from our burritos. So on the way home, I'm going to move this over here. On the way home from the Tour de Blueberry, I donated more than 50 burritos to Fire Station number 15 for dinner that night because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to eat that many.
Yay.
Day of volunteers, I counted 20 to 25 on my list. I think we had more than that, and that includes the Hampstead Hams. The successes of the ride, we had a safe ride. There were no incident reports, which is a miracle to me. In that heat that we had in a first ride back, I really was most excited about that. I feel like our collaboration with Full Send was key to keeping me sane, but they really helped out, not only on the day of, but those details that they handled with the t-shirts. I didn't have to handle that this year. All the swag stuff, they handled all that, helping order that. I didn't even have to think about it. That was huge. And then the day of, they handled the music and the registration check-in, and they handled a lot of little details for me and for our ride. So that was fun. I loved the swag. I got lots of compliments on the lunch choices and of course the blueberries. I thought the pre-ride registration at Bike Cycles was amazing and something, yes, Eileen, I see that thumbs up, that we need to continue to have an in-town option the day before. It really made the day of go very smoothly. I really only think we had maybe 40 people sign in on the morning of, which was great. I personally, this is the tiniest detail, but I loved the road marking with the tape and the signs. I thank Phil and Wayne for going out the day before and marking thousands of miles of road.
Thousands.
Thousands of, ask them, I'm sure it was thousands of miles.
Not really.
Yes. And I just really appreciate all of y'all for your help this year. It was the day before, Phil and Wayne helped out. Bill Culpepper, thank you so much for doing SAG and for saying, I love this. Every time I talk to you, you would say, I love this. So I really appreciate that. Heather and Jim, I just appreciated them coming to do parking, and Bridget, thanks for being there. And setting up the whole Swift thing. I mean, I'm gonna leave everybody out, but it was really, I really appreciate that. So those were our keys, because we had fewer volunteers, so it was really on all of us, and I really appreciate your help. A couple of changes for next year. We will do an all-in-one pricing, although we will probably have like an early bird pricing, which we've done before, and then kind of roll that out to non-members and members will all pay the same price. Karen told me to do that. We may need to change the routes and the roads for next year because there were a couple that were a little bit sketchy. So we may have to start working on that now and trying to figure out what loops we can do that are similar and around the area, but may need to include safer roads. The Zwift race and the virtual ride, don't know what we can do with those. I know that Mo Lindquist was huge in that and would love another virtual ride. I don't know where those are going for the next year, but I like the idea of them. It definitely garnered us some extra money, and it definitely included people who didn't want to come to the live ride. So it was kind of cool. I'll kind of say that the central communication also wraps up the online volunteer registration, because I need to have everything in one central place, and that is probably going to be Run Sign Up and not the website. If I changed something on Run Sign Up, I inevitably would forget on the website and vice versa. So in order to keep everything like connected and the communication all coming from one thing, it probably will either be the website and Run Sign Up, and I have a feeling that Run Sign Up is a little bit easier. Lunch options might change for next year. I loved Nowadays Gourmet. They were super fun and cute, and I loved the burritos, but there were glitches with both, so we might have to go with somebody new, or just get those ironed out. And then my key thing was that we needed ice at every aid station, and I didn't have it out on the last 2 aid stations, and not just for bottles, but for people to pour cold water over them.
Yeah.
And that is something I learned from Coeur d'Alene as well. You can never have enough ice. So a couple of loose ends that I am still working on is I have an email that needs to be sent out to all the participants to tell them where we donated our money that we raised and how much we raised. I am also going to give our virtual riders some prizes. Probably each of them will get, I think there's 3 winners, so to speak. And they'll probably get some of the swag, the towel, the t-shirt, extra t-shirts and lights. And then we do have merchandise to sell, which I know Bill was talking about, gear anyway, Cape Free Cyclist gear. And so we can kind of roll that into it. We have a lot of lights to either sell or give away. And I thought it would be kind of a fun thing for maybe an idea would be to give our bike leaders, our ride leaders, a handful of them each weekend. So if somebody new signs up and doesn't have a light, they could have one as their first visit. They couldn't have one on the second visit, but that might be something we could work out. It might also be a fun little enticement for bike leaders to, they get a little prize. I don't know. We could kind of work that out. So there's some loose ends there. And then next year, the Tour de Blueberry is June 18th, 2022, according to the Blueberry Festival website. And they've already race, Full Send Racing is already like set up our website to register. So we can go ahead and start registering people now. And then the next thing for next year is the Tour de Blueberry planner. When I signed up / volunteered to coordinate in 2018, I think that was my first year, I was told that there was a book. And y'all promised me that there was a book. And there wasn't a real book. There is a book that is basically a thumbnail, a thumb drive, and it has all the information on it. It has, it just has a lot of all the documents that have ever been done for the Tour de Blueberry. And I've dug through them and I've salvaged what I need, and it's great. But as I went along this year, I created a book. So I have an unofficial Tour de Blueberry planning book that includes supply lists, who to call and when. It includes who our sponsors have been in the past and who's in charge of contacting them. Emerge Ortho is one of those, and Al Schrotel is usually in charge of getting them to donate hundreds of bars and snacks and things. So I have kind of accumulated all those things and plan to, by the end of the year, get it all set in a binder so that if I want to ride next year, somebody can plan it while I ride.
And you should be able to ride.
So yeah, so here are a couple of pictures from the big day. These are our virtual riders. Thank you, Eileen, for sending this through Mo. And look at their cute t-shirts.
Love them.
I know, all of them got their t-shirts and were able to wear them. And then, yeah, that sums it up. Thank y'all very, very much for being a part of it and helping me out and riding and volunteering and all that jazz. So I thank y'all very much.
Beth, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First question is, will you do it again next year for us, please? Somebody had to ask.
It's kind of like Coeur d'Alene, Linda. You have to ask me maybe in a couple of months.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay.
Thank you, Beth, for your
I will have to
report.
say, I do love planning it, and I do love, I do like the, I do like, I mean, it's so much fun, and I feel like every year I'm like, oh, we need to do this for next year.
Right.
So if I could set it up
That's
and
what we're
then
hearing.
ride,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Okay.
And
All
we
right,
should
we'll
be able
be-
to make that happen.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Beth, for your report.
Phil,
Thank
one thing
you.
I wanted to say before we go to the next topic about the virtual ride, because I know that's going to be a club decision. Mo Lindquist, who's really very, very active down in Curie Beach, and she's also a member of the Bike Ped Committee for the WMPO and on the Terry Benji board. She said that if we decide to do a virtual ride, she's going to do a throwdown challenge to Carolina Beach and Wrightsville Beach so that their communities can also do virtual rides. There's a lot of retirees in those communities that aren't particularly interested in joining 500 people in Brigade to do what they perceive of as a race.
Yeah.
But those Curie Beach people had a blast. And that's 27 registrations that we would not have gotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
from those groups, you may wind up with a couple. So once that decision's made, the only reason Carolina Beach did not do the virtual team is because Mo didn't get to them early enough. And
Right.
Wrightsville Beach is its own animal, as we all know, whatever. They may, yeah, I don't know, they may be too special, but sorry. we all know. But she thinks that Carolina Beach and Curie Beach would absolutely do like how many miles, how many riders, and they rode the whole week. Bridget and I spoke to that one guy that came in, right, Bridget, to pick up the shirts. And he was like, my wife and I have ridden every day this week. We never ride every day, but they wanted to like do the most miles.
Yeah, that's just great. I think we'll do it.
One of their riders, I think, rode 431 miles, I think.
Like in
So,
a
yeah.
week.
Yeah, in a week.
Mhm.
Yeah. In Curie Beach. Yeah.
So do we have any quick questions for Beth on the tour of Blueberry, or can we move on to the treasurer's report?
You did
Okay.
great, Beth.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Beth. Tony, yeah. Are you ready for the treasurer's report?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. I had a lot of trouble
Yeah.
signing in.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're here.
Oh, good. I'm not sure, did everybody get the summary that I sent out? If you have it, then it'd be easy to just walk through it.
Tony, do you want to share your screen or not?
Oh, let's see here. That's, I'm not sure how to do it. Let's leave it the way it is. Okay, it's likely to shut off.
I see Tony.
Okay, somebody
Hi,
does.
Tony.
Hi. Let's go down. The bank balance at this point is $31,795. And then I'm showing some adjustments. There's still one bill outstanding on the tour of $560. That's our insurance. So we're gonna have to figure out how to transfer that money to them, and I'll try to get on in the next day or so. And then there's the area of proposed donations, which is $5,000. And we'll come back to that in a minute. I don't know whether Beth had a chance to speak to it or not. So taking those two numbers out of our balance, we would have 26,233 going forward. We started the year as showing 25,564. So we're about even. We're slightly ahead, $869 in terms of cash on hand. the TDB registrations brought in 14,500 and change, and 2140 in donations. A total input of 16,674, and then expenses are showing 11,620, giving us net income of 5,064. So that's where the number comes from for the proposed donations. Okay.
Yep.
And Beth and I did exchange some emails. I guess, Beth, we've settled on proposing $500 to the Hampstead Hams, 1,000 to the middle school. Now, the middle school is kind of a special case because we have to pay them $600 for use of their facilities. So that's not quite as much as we've given in the past, plus we don't have the money to give. Blueberry Scholarship at 500, and then the balance of the money going to the Terry Benjamin Foundation, which is $3,000. That's kind of a quick go through, but that's a proposal on the donations of $5,000. And if we get approval for that at this board meeting, then I would go ahead and write the checks out for them and distribute them to whomever is going to give them out. So, any really questions or anything about that?
Is this a motion to make those donations as you described?
I would like to make a motion to make those donations unless there is further discussion from the board. If there is, it's open to the floor.
Yeah, Al?
Yeah, I would like to, I guess, visit the amount of the donation to the Hampstead Hams. They have, in the past few years, have become instrumental to the function of the Tour de Blueberry. And I hope the folks had a chance to see the little spreadsheet I sent out. But the Hampstead Hams have been, we increased them. They've been given $500 in 2016, 2017, 2018. We increased them in the last Tour de Blueberry to $1,000. I would like to propose during this discussion that we consider increasing them to $1,000 again.
But then also we have a give right out part two.
Yeah. The other thing is, of course, that the Tour de Blueberry has been held over the years in a bunch of different locations. There's never been one any better than the school.
Oh.
And I would like, and I hadn't realized until earlier today that the school had already received $600. But I would like to see them brought back up, to the same level of past, maybe not the same level. We didn't, the event did not, realize as much profit as in the past, but man, it was incredible that it occurred at all, and frankly, that we made any money. But at any rate, I'd like to see the school's total share increased maybe to about 2,000. Eileen and I have talked about this earlier today. The Benji Foundation, of course, is always very, very appreciative of any donations, but we would probably like to see more money go to those two organizations at the expense of the Benji Foundation. And I'll turn it over to Eileen.
So yeah, we looked at we're doing okay in the Benji Foundation, and like everybody else, because of the pandemic, we have not been able to do any outreach. Kitty had a wonderful event we're going to hear about later, I'm sure, which cost us a whopping $230. We have money. We, like Al said, we appreciate what we do get from this, but our partnerships with the community are important. So Al and I are both very supportive of the possibility of keeping Hampstead Hams in that middle school, who gets probably almost no donations ever, up to prior years, and bring Terry Benji Foundation down to 2. So you'd still be at the 5,000. We would just rebalance it.
I like
So
that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would be talking about keeping the Hampstead Hams at 1,000 and the school at 2,000, and then
No,
the
the
Terry
school
Bench.
at 1,500, was it?
Al
16.
just said 2.
Oh, okay.
And then 600.
Well, yeah, the school previously was at 2,500 total,
Yeah,
but you know, as Tony's already said, they've already gotten 600.
right.
So maybe
So,
2,000 is a nice round
Well,
number.
if you brought the middle school to 1,500 and the Hams to 1,000, that's 1,000 away from the Benji Foundation. We'd still be getting 2, right? Because you increase them both by 500.
Yeah, the Benji Foundation was given $500 earlier this year too, in January.
Yeah.
I forget who I was in conversation with, but somebody told me back a ways that the Hams were absolutely delighted to get $500. But, you know, I can certainly support that, you know, anything we decide that's, you know, within the envelope of the 5,000 or so that we've made.
I guess even though our event brought in less money, they still had the same amount of work in volunteers and what they had to do for us. So even I would go the opposite way of what I've heard here. I would say we could take some of our funds that we have that weren't profit from the event and increase that, make sure that the Hams got their $1,000 and the $2,000 to the school sounded like a good number to me, and the, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 to the Terry Benji Foundation. I'm not opposed to either one of those figures. So if we wanted to have a discussion about that more, or if those numbers would sound good enough, we could have a vote to pass it at those numbers, if everybody's in understanding what I just said.
Our Treasury guideline is to have 2 years of operating expenses, and normal operating expenses, if we used everything that's in the budget, it's about $10,000. So I kind of like being at that 20,000 number stuck in the bank. Beyond that, it's just a distribution issue. I mean, you know, the Treasury balance is there to keep the club safe over a long term if there should be some decline in membership or whatever. And that's why I like the 2 years of operating expense, and not to pull it down too much below that, because we're really not bringing in much money other than registrations. And the other thing is the Blueberry, which was very, very successful given the situation this year. I certainly wasn't expecting it.
I'm going to add, just thank y'all for suggesting that we give more to the Hampstead Hams and the school. I will have to say that this year was the first year, you know, that we had to go through the legal, you know, the legal hoops to get the school's grounds and all that kind of stuff. We've never had to do that before. And the principal, Jeff Swanson, contacted me afterward and said, he was the one who said, do it just in case. And then after the event, he said, next year, just come to me. Because I think he knew, like, we couldn't use the gym. It cost an extra $600, so we didn't use that. And we were really lucky this year that it didn't rain and we didn't need to use the cafeteria really all that much. But the blessing in using the school this year was the woman who was the custodian who helped us out. And she was a joy to be with and was super helpful. So, I mean, if I could give $1,000 just to her, I would be so happy. She just was so wonderful. And then the Hampstead Hams, again, even though we didn't have as many riders, it seemed like this year they were clicking on all cylinders, and they had at least 2 operators at each aid station. They timed everything perfectly. They helped with the communications even better this year than before. I don't know what it was that helped us out with that. So yeah, I mean, and Stan Hartz is just, he also is so easy to work with and so laid back and so easygoing. And it's just really fun to know that if something goes wrong, which nothing did this year, he is our voice and our communicator between the SAG and us and what's going on out there. So it was really helpful. So thank y'all very much for suggesting to give more to them.
Of course.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of amplify a little bit on that, in that, the Hampstead Hams over the years have become more and more important to this event. But this year, even though it was a smaller number, because of the heat, Bill Culpepper and I, Drive and Sag, dragged in more people than we ever have. And it was because the Hampstead Hams told us that's where the need is, go there. This is and the other really neat thing they do is that at each station, they say, okay, there are 4 people leaving from here. These are the last people. So we knew, Bill and I knew as we were driving SAG, we knew, who was out there and who needed to be trailed. So yeah, whatever we give the Hampstead Hams is richly deserved.
Okay, so coming back around, where's the consensus on the numbers? 1,000 for the hams? And
2 for the school.
Yeah, 2,000 including the
school or
600.
1,500?
It's 2,000 total, and that includes the 600 for the rent, and then what, 1,400 donation. So we have a
That
total of
takes us back
2,000.
about 1,500.
Yeah, so if we have a total of 2,000 to the school, 500 for the Blueberry Scholarship, and then 2,000 or 3,000 for the Terry Benji. That would put us like 5,500 or 6,500.
It'd be okay. What the numbers I have then is.
Well, the 600's already been taken out as part of expenses.
Yes, it
So
has.
for this amount of money, we're just counting up to 1,500 if you're doing that. And my guess is that the middle school itself probably did not get the 600. Pender County Schools got the 600.
Pender County Schools probably got the 600, or at least a large portion of it.
They cashed the check anyway.
Yeah. So if we have a 2,000 there, that would be 1,400 for the school and 600 that we've already given them. So that would be a 2,000 total. And then 500 for the scholarship, and then 2,000 or 3,000 for the Terry Bench. And that would leave us either 5,500 by my math or 6,500, depending on what we give the Terry Bench Foundation.
Let's just round the school up at 1,500.
Okay.
Easier check to write. 1,000, 1,500, 500.
If you want to meet in the middle at 2,500 for Benji Foundation and keep
Okay.
Well,
easy.
Then we'd be at 3,000 for the, or 2,000 for the Benji. Well, they could go up to 5,500.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you do 2,500, we're still only spending 5,500. We're only taking 500
Yeah.
out of $25,000 that we've got.
Yep. Does that sound good to anybody? All in favor? We want to have a motion and a second, and
I move that we donate those amounts
there you go.
I second.
to those.
Let me just be clear on the numbers. We got
Okay.
1,000 for the hams, 1,500 for the school, 500 for the scholarship, and 2,500 for the foundation. Right?
Yep. All in favor?
5,500.
Aye.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. One last item.
Sure.
How do we distribute these? Mail them checks, or is it going to be done in person by somebody? Someone going to take it on?
Isn't it done at the annual meeting normally?
It used to be done at the annual meeting, but the way the numbers are going, the chance of having an annual meeting are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
I
we
guess
should.
that could fall.
In 2019, Al and I went and gave them, I think that's right, we gave them their check in person, I think.
Good. That's good.
I would love to do that again.
How about if I mail the checks to you, Beth, and then you can take care of the distribution?
Sure.
All right.
Wow.
you.
Hyper sure.
Because, Beth,
Okay.
Is that a positive sure or not? Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'd like-
My loose
I'd like to
end.
endorse that because, Beth is the face of the club. out there in Burgos.
Yeah, being
And,
great.
That's a great idea. And I guess the other thing too is, to thank Beth. To even have this discussion that we got some money to donate.
Oh, yeah.
Given that we didn't know we could have an event, and Beth and her team pulled together an event in very short order, and it was wonderful, and people just absolutely loved it. Thank you, Beth.
It was great. And Beth, as you hand out these checks, if somebody could snap a picture, it's important to give feedback to the members of where the money was spent. So I post each one on the Facebook page. Thank you to Tour de Blueberry participants. Here's the donations that were made to the community. People love to see
Go out
that.
there with her.
Okay.
I'll try to go with you. Let me know when
Okay.
you're going. Okay.
Okay, moving on, then I guess could we have Bill Culpepper in the website activity, or what's going on with our website? Is there anything new there, Bill?
Not really.
Okay.
I've just got the number of visits is pretty much stable. It dropped down a little bit in April, it looks like, but it's 126 logged in visits last month and a total of 2,000. I have to keep reminding you that total visits might include automatic bots that are out there just jumping around the internet looking at things. Okay. So 126 logged in visits. There's really not a whole lot there.
I say it's down a little bit from last month, but
yeah, but not that's if you look at it, it fluctuates.
Yeah. And everything else is running smooth there.
Yeah, that's a great organization. They really provide an awful lot of stuff. I'm fixing to send out for Linda over here a little blast email reminding people to sign up for or register for the picnic. That'll probably come out as soon as this meeting is over.
Okay, I'll copy that update to the Facebook page. Thanks, Bill.
Okay.
Great. And then Sandy, if you have something on the membership report, how's our membership doing?
Yes, I do. Just a moment. So in the yellow, a staggering number of new
Yay.
members,
Awesome.
Yay.
102.
Very
Wow.
cool.
That
And
is great.
Very cool.
I'm getting them every day. It just surprised me when I asked the system how many new members we have, and it's 102. Well, I guess I believe that. So there we are. We're doing well,
Cool.
and haven't really lost any.
That's
Yeah,
great.
So
I'm looking for the total there. The total is 428. No, I'm at the wrong line there.
active 389.
Thank you for pointing that to me. Thank you.
That's great.
That is good.
So let's hope COVID doesn't take that away again.
So interesting. The number of expired between May and July didn't change. It didn't change much since January. So there are not a lot of people dropping out, are there?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, then people are back out and riding, and it matters. It really does.
Yeah.
So whatever we're doing a good job at it.
I think the tour helped.
Okay. Is there any questions about the membership, about any of that? And we
I'm
can
not
move.
sure, Phil, one thing
Mhm.
about the membership, I'm not sure where this goes on the agenda, but I think it should be now. Wayne and Bridget and I have been working on a flyer brochure to improve, knowledge for newcomers coming to town. And Wayne did a nice draft for us. I edited the draft and Bridget put it on a one-pager today. And right now we've got a draft of a one-pager that could be in all the bike stores. Bridget, I don't know if you want, she did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
So I did the one pager and I actually finished the trifold brochure too. So they're both uploaded into the Google Drive. So let me share my screen.
Hang on, I gotta let you do that.
Okay.
While she's sharing her screen, the one thing I want, there's a little change here. We do refer to the fact that our one member benefit is to get discounts at two-wheeler and bike cycles. But I'd like to put this in all 4 shops. And I'm sure if we asked City Bikes and the one down in River Lights, whose name eludes me, they'd
Sure.
probably give us donation discounts as well. So we would probably change that. So this is what Bridget did today.
Wow.
Nice.
So this is the
Nice.
procedure, and I,
So good.
I created a folder for that's just called marketing and put this one in there, and then here's the trifold.
Oh, man.
Wow, nice,
That-
Bridget,
that,
nice.
and
It
then,
looks so good.
Oh, I'm glad you featured Adopt a Highway in our role in the community, Bridget. That's fantastic.
And I just added that in there. So of course, if there's anything that you guys want to change, certainly send me an email. Like I said, I
Love it.
quickly threw these
Love
together.
That's
So if
great.
anything else that you want, just let me know, and I can get on those.
So what we'll do is we'll fine tune it and finish up with the drafts and the mock-ups. And then we'll get some pricing of what printing would be. And between Bridget and Wayne and I, we can get in touch with the bike shops and say, you know, I mean, I found out about Cape Fear Cyclists from Two Wheeler Dealer when I bought my first bike. I said, how does a person learn how to ride around here? And they said, oh, Cape Fear Cyclists. And, you know, but now they'd have a piece of paper to hand people, which they can take home and go to the website. So Bridget, I like those layouts.
I think that's absolutely excellent. We ought to also consider maybe next spring sometime, depending on stuff, an event maybe called a new member call out, where we show up with and have new members, that people that want to come ride. We have people look at their bikes, talk about helmets, talk about the Terry Benji, talk about, you know, all the good things we do, and have an event, you know, picnic or something.
That'd be great.
Wait a minute, wait.
Wow, what
Well, I
a
mean,
segue.
Wait a
Not,
minute.
not
into the
necessarily an
social. How
annual
about it,
picnic, but
Linda?
just have some food available.
Yeah, how about it, Linda? The
There you go.
social, committee
other-
report.
Wayne's not here, but I had trouble. I changed my email address. So if anybody can help me, I had a little trouble getting to the Google Drive thing. So
He
maybe I
might
need
have to re-invite you to your new email address.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Linda, do you have the committee report for you wanted to talk about the picnic we've got coming up?
Well, I do. They're talking about numbers increasing, you know, because of Delta and the 30% who choose not to be vaccinated. So it's possible. I hope it doesn't happen. You know, we just don't know at this point. I am more than happy to proceed connecting with various venues for our scheduling an annual meeting. I'm feeling positive and want it to happen in November, I guess, since that traditionally is our time frame for an annual meeting. And I would only talk to people who are willing to take a deposit as long as it is refundable. So, you know, obviously I'm not going to pursue anything that jeopardizes our deposit. So I just need ideas. I don't think Zoom is going to be good. You know, we didn't have one, as you know, in 2020, and I just hate the idea of missing 2 in a row. So, you know, outdoors, you know, one idea that comes to me is to do it schedule something outside, even if it's in November. I don't know, with a bonfire and s'mores. I don't know.
We did the Battleship one year and it was pretty, but God almighty, it was cold.
It was cute. Yeah.
It was cold.
And that was like the best in all of the organization's history in terms of.
But it was
attendance,
freezing.
but it was expensive.
And
so
it was,
if you're willing to,
no,
you know,
no, I'm saying it was too cold to be, I mean, you could barely stand there. I was reason.
know. So that's what I meant by the bonfire, you know,
Yeah.
on a beach. I don't know. I hate the idea of missing one, but I can start now because you have to start now in terms of scheduling a place. But if it's inside, if it has to be inside, we might not happen, people. That's all I'm saying. What?
So I have a question about Smoke on the Water, because that was one we held a couple of years ago, and they are able to, on a good night, open the walls
True.
and also have the patio with the bonfire and the not s'mores, unfortunately. But I mean, that might be an idea to
Okay, on that venue, great suggestion. On that venue, Smoke in the Water was really bad, only in that because they're only a restaurant, they're not a catering, you know, a venue per se. People who had eaten and the plates were long gone, and other people had not even been, you know, served yet, as you know. So that was their negative. Good food, great venue, all of that. So on that level, we could look at where we are going to be for our annual picnic, their lake house, as it will, as it is. I mean, and I could get a caterer that way. Do a buffet and they can be outside. We can make them go outside. We don't have to. The place is big enough, but then people are able to eat inside. The only problem with inside is they cannot accommodate the 60 to 80 people that have traditionally shown up in one room. It's and you'll see when you come to the picnic, it's a little bit choppy. Nice rooms, they're all beautiful, but we'd be standing up to have all of us in one room to listen to the actual meeting. You know, it's definitely doable. So we can kind of, you know, the problem is by our next scheduled meeting, we really need to have reservations made at places for
Linda, just a thought. I mean, people, you're right. The one negative I heard about Smoke on the Water, I was away, but was the bad timing of the food. But they also were painfully aware of it. Would it not be worth a phone call and say, listen, have you all nailed down your catering, or are you still truly like, can you handle this in a way that we don't have people yelling at us, or should we look elsewhere? Maybe they now do weddings and groups.
When I called them and explained all that for last year, for 2020, they didn't return my phone call.
Okay, well then, okay.
So I'm happy to make another.
Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, I just was wondering.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Thank you, Phil. I mean, I need ideas. I'm happy to pursue anything.
I was cold on the Battleship, but if I would have had the right jacket, I would have been fine. And that's outside.
It was beautiful.
And I know it's more expensive, but that was
it's
outside venue.
I can go there. It was fabulous. That was a great night, but it's about our budget. Are we willing to spend that kind of money again? You know?
It answers your COVID question of whether we can have it indoors or outdoors. It answers that right off.
Right, and based on the battlefield and the restrictions they have, you know, maybe they would even say no, because you know, depending on whether or not there's a lockdown at that point. But I am happy to pursue it, and
it's worth finding out what the cost would be, and then we can make a decision. I mean, you're right, Phil. I just should have bought a different jacket because it was colder than I expected, but it was beautiful.
It was, yeah.
Know that in the invitation, then it's a done deal. Bring your down jackets. Just
be prepared for it to be cold out, but
hand warmers and toe warmers and
you bet. That was so nice. You know, very, very nice. So
I think at the time too, we were also only charging our members like $10 or $15. I think, you know, again, we could charge our members $20 for dinner. I
True.
think we charged next to nothing
And
that
they-
year.
He did, Richard did a Mo's.
It was Mo's. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was fine.
it was great.
Yep.
So we can definitely downplay the food, you know, it'll still be good, but, you know,
Right.
not.
Focused on being safe.
Yeah, yeah. So good. Thank you. I will do that for sure. Follow, as long as I know that the ability to approve the budget is there, and hopefully at our next meeting, then I'll have some solid, you know, options for us, and we'll have a better idea, better knowledge of what's available to
Sure.
us based on regulations and mandates.
Do you have anything on the picnic? Any updates on the picnic that's,
Well, Bill Culpepper, the last I heard was.
Check your text.
Okay. I can do that right now. I'm very, very excited. There you are. Just did a quick 23. 23. That's fabulous. I made an announcement on Sunday's Ride, and several people put it in their calendar as I was talking. I mean, you know, with the Facebook, Eileen, and the emails you're doing, Bill, people just don't jump on.
And, yeah, but people wait. This is the most last minute town I've ever been a part of.
True.
And everybody's gonna wait and check the weather and all that other stuff.
We're
So,
within
yeah,
2 weeks as of now, as of today, we're within 2 weeks. So Bill is sending out for me a gentle reminder. The other thing I'm doing is sending an invite to previous members, and but only in the last 2 years, previous members. You know, we kind of cut it off because so many people move, just relocate. So we think the primary candidates would be in the last couple of years. And then the other idea I had for some last minute registrants is Slack, because so many, you know, there are so many people who don't respond to email, don't respond, or not on Facebook, but we have so many people on Slack. So very last week, I'm going to go to Slack because the only way from that point is to let us know they're coming, is to actually register through me. And I'm trying to, you know, just kind of monitor that amount of.
what's your deadline for registration online?
The second, the Monday prior to the event on the 8th.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
So,
I think
okay,
we're
so
good.
we're, the meeting was slated to go to 7, but we're running at 10 to 7 now.
Oh, sorry.
So we're gonna run over some. So if we could just keep in mind that we're gonna run over. And I'd like to hear from Eileen about the website and the Terry Benji report.
So on Facebook, we were up to 1,400.
Yeah, Facebook, yeah.
That's okay. We're up to 1,400 followers on Facebook, which is a lot, considering how relatively small our club is. But that just shows me that there's a lot of people in the community who really depend on our site for information on advocacy and some of the other things that are going on. I hope you all saw the messaging I sent out. Big news that the Terry Benji Foundation and Cape Fear Cyclists are involved in is the recent approval of the National Park Service grant to the Gullah Geechee Greenway Blueway Heritage Trail. When the National Park Service decides to be your partner, you've got something that's going to happen. Like, this is huge. And so they're not giving actual money, but what they're giving is their partnership and kind of their blessing. So when the developers of the trail go to the WMPO, go to whoever for money, and they say the National Park Service, so they're going to be creating the signage and the educational materials about the Gullah Geechee heritage along the trail. So this is really very likely, those of you who live in Brunswick County, man, you should be so super excited. This is, I think, really happening. in addition to being approved as a trail as part of the National Park Service, which also puts it on all their maps. You know, it's a deal. It's a big deal. So in addition to that, the NAACP in Brunswick County also got a 3-year monetary planning grant from the Kate B. Reynolds Foundation. And anybody who's ever worked in grant or finance world know that when you get money from Kate B. Reynolds, again, you're legit. And so that gives the organizers a little bit of money for some brochures, a little bit of money to travel to different events, to hire the help they need, to draw up plans and things like that. The town of Belleville just had a ribbon cutting right along their riverfront side, which is going to be a centerpiece of the future trail. So I guess my overarching theme that the Benji Foundation's been doing that I share with you all, keep an eye on Brunswick County. It is happening, and it's happening fast. The final wonderful piece of this puzzle, and I think what's going to be the first piece of the puzzle, is actually Navassa. Barnes Sutton, who's the planner for the town of Navassa, is on the Benji board. Navassa has a church, an elementary school, and a cemetery that are part of the Gullah Geechee Heritage Historical Sites. And they're already creating and planning and have Superfund money for trails within Navassa that will link to the brand new Sturgeon Park in Leland. And the guy, the secondary planner asked me for some routes that Cape Fear Cyclists ride, and I shared his name with Bill Culpepper. I don't know if he ever came on a ride, but the guys from Navassa are starting to see where we ride there, and they're starting to incorporate where we want to ride with where they want to have some safe events. And then finally, we're going to be working with them. They're struggling with getting a date because everything's been moved to October. And so Navassa wants to do a big bicycling event in October that Brunswick County and the Sheriff's Department is going to be their version of River to the Sea. So Cape Fear Cyclist members are going to be called upon to do similar to what we do with River to the Sea, where we're kind of helping, making sure that people are safe. And they're hoping for October, but between the Ironman and the newly renamed date of our River to the Sea, they're not sure when it's going to be.
Okay.
But as soon as we know that date, we will share it. That's probably the biggest
But
thing
they
that we're
won't
working on.
conflict.
I'm
They know
sorry?
that they
No,
won't.
they know that they can't conflict. Because
Right.
also they need the Sheriff's Department, and when they asked the Sheriff's Department for October, I guess it was the 20th, that's the weekend of the triathlon, whatever the weekend of the triathlon is, the Sheriff's Department was like, no. So, so we're working with them on that. And then the last piece, Al and I, he put this in his advocacy report. We are meeting with DOT on Monday, the 9th, about River Road. We're still trying. We're still trying. So on River Road in New Hanover County, not in Brunswick.
Thank you,
Okay.
Eileen.
Thank you,
You're
Eileen.
welcome.
Very good. And let's move on to that report from Al and the advocacy.
Well, okay, well, I sent out a report, which I know everybody, as soon as they saw it in their email in basket, they immediately read it. But at any rate, you know, I'm going to skip over most of it. The report is out there. We're still working with NCDOT, meeting, as Eileen just said, with Chad Kimes, who's the head of our 6th county region of DOT, and he's a friend, and we're going to see if we can't, you know, come up with ideas to make or implement ideas to make River Road a little bit safer than it's gotten to be. I think I'm going to again skip right down to the Adopt a Highway. The Adopt a Highway, you know, we've been using the same format now for 15 years, I think, something like that. And I just wanted to, I guess, particularly for the people that are on this meeting, you know, how do you feel about the current format? You know, with a 8 o'clock show, trying to get out on the ride by 9 o'clock. You know, are the yellow bottle, hide the yellow bottle for some prizes important to the event? And are the refreshments important to the event? my gut feeling is that, you know, if we held the adopt a highway without the hide the body bottles and not hide the bodies, hide the bottles.
River Road.
Yeah,
Hopefully we don't.
yes, hide the bodies. Anyway, without hide the bottles and without the prizes and without the refreshments, probably the same folks would show up. But, and I guess it creates a little bit of a different venue, you know, a different sort of excitement for it. So unless, you know, particularly the people that are here, I mean, Bill, Phil, and others, you know, that have been, you know, loyal participants of Adopt the Highway, you know, do you have any, I guess, advice for us? Should we change it or should we continue the way we're doing?
I wouldn't change it. I enjoy it just the way it is.
The only thing I would say is an earlier start,
Mhm,
Like earlier.
particularly in the summer months.
mhm.
The last Saturday that we did it, it got extremely hot, finishing up that ride for me at least. And I know that would be complicating to do one time and another time during the season, but we do that with all the club rides anyway.
I second Bill's idea. I like the earlier start.
That'd be fine with me.
I'm gonna go back to what Al was saying, and I haven't been there for a bit, but I used to do every single one of them, and I don't know, I mean, I don't know if you'll realize how early Al has to get there to bury yellow bottles, and I don't know, oh, now Bill does it, excuse me. So Bill, you know, Bill, maybe you can give feedback on whether or not people really care about those. Do they like making more people come? And are the snack, I mean, maybe the camaraderie, and the other thing about the snacks is that also slows down your ride start. Just a thought.
Yeah, I don't know about the yellow bottles. The past couple of times, one or twice, we only found one of them, and we had to give out the prize based on a birthday instead of, you know, finding the yellow bottle. So that I don't know when I tend to like the snacks. That's kind of a camaraderie, social time, kind of a break between, you know, getting the stuff and getting on the ride. If we could just get it at a different, organize it different to make it flow a little better and quicker.
We could start at the same time and eliminate the snacks. I mean, yes, Bill, I agree with you. It's nice for camaraderie, but it's not necessary. And I was really surprised how many people forget don't do the pickup, but show up for the ride. There were, you know, a significant amount of people that just showed up for the ride. So based on that, I don't think the snacks are mandatory. But again, it's nice. I'm not saying let's not do it. I just don't see it as mandatory. My 2 cents, I guess.
Okay,
So any
Dan,
more discussion?
to add one more voice, I think the snacks are important because it's a club thing. But I would skip the yellow bottles. I mean, I think I'm old enough now to do it because it's a good thing rather than searching for the Easter egg.
Okay, so let's just break this down. How about who wants to go at 7:30 and who wants to go at 8? Let's do 7:30. Raise your hand. 1, 2, and who wants to 3? Who wants to keep it at 8 o'clock? And 1, 2, 3, and okay, it's a tie. We got a good old fashioned tie. So let's keep the time this next time at 8 o'clock. The next one we go on, and we can discuss that. And yellow bottles, the prizes. Who wants to have the prizes? And raise your hand if you want to keep the prizes. And nobody. So we can do away with that. And how about who wants to have the snacks? And let's have a quick vote on the snacks. Who wants to keep the snacks involved in it? And I enjoy the snacks. So we've got a majority on that. We've got that taken care of.
Okay.
So,
Al,
Good solution. Thank you.
Al, before you go away, let's you and I chat between now and then about streamlining. You know, maybe we could get some different snacks, some pre-cut fruit and vegetables or something like that, instead of having to wait for people to, you know, put the put the cottage cheese and cream cheese, whatever it is, on the donuts and all that stuff. And
I
maybe just
have an
something.
idea. I have leftovers from the torta blueberry, like 1,000 bars and Oreos and
Uh,
Pop-Tart bites. I will give them to you.
Okay.
that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, that might be better too, because people can then, pick it up,
Yeah.
just stuff it in their shirt and ride with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on with Kitty Cole and education.
Okay, one of these meetings, I'm going to have to go first instead of last. I'm just
I
saying.
am so sorry. We'll move
No,
you
no,
right
no,
up. I'm
I'm
making a
teasing.
note. I'm marking that
You're
down.
not last. You're not last.
Kitty
You're
first.
Wagner.
Bill,
You're
I'm-
not
Yeah, let's
last.
don't forget Big Bill.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. Okay, so because I'm doing both the same job essentially for the Terry Benji Foundation and Cape Fear Cyclists, this is a report to update you all on what initiatives I've started taking now that I feel like I've gotten my feet firmly entrenched, thanks to Eileen and Tammy Brown, in the safety and education activities that have happened in the past and planning for the future. So we had our first official safety and education event sponsored by the Benji Foundation, but we, because we're members of both organizations, I also included Cape Fear Cyclists in the discussion with the individuals. So we participated in the Junior Fire Academy that was sponsored by and put on all week by the Wilmington Fire Department. And they reached out to us via the Benji Foundation to do a safety and education seminar for their participants. So on Friday, we had two groups, one group of boys in the morning, of which there were 9, and then 6 participants, which were girls in the afternoon. So a total of 15. And Tammy Brown led, as she is, that has been something that she's done in the past. And she is an LCI and she trains LCIs. We had 8 volunteers, including Tammy in the morning and 7 in the afternoon. So we went over classroom style with the participants, North Carolina law, safe riding. We taught them how to fit a helmet. Al, you will be really happy to know that 15 NCDOT helmets were donated.
Aw.
So we've been sitting on helmets because we haven't had any events, but if DOT asks, we've now given away 15. So we were really happy to be able to do that, taught the kids how to fit them, and City Bikes stepped up at the last minute and rented 5 beach cruisers to us and also delivered them and then picked them up. So we did have to pay for them. The Benji Foundation paid for them, but they came in last minute and helped us out because Dusty Castine just hasn't gotten the kind of bikes donated that he has in the past due to the pandemic. But Dusty was able to bring 3 bikes and he also participated. So we pulled in a group of people from the area that we really needed to pull together. Nick Cannon was there and helped out. Dusty Castine was there. We had volunteers from the Terry Benji Foundation, myself, Jim Iannucci, Tammy Brown led it. And I think we did a lot of great promotion for not only the Terry Benji Foundation, but Cape Fear Cyclists also. So it was our first one since 2019 when I was not even a figment in all your imaginations because I wasn't here. So we have a neighborhood request that Tammy is speaking to that we, if it happens, would be the end of August. And then the other exciting thing that Tammy and Eileen and I brainstormed on is having what's called a 101 certification class, which is a precursor for individuals that want to become an LCI. So this 101 class, we want to pull in all the area LCIs And we're going to offer it for individuals that want to be involved in volunteering, bike safety events, and bike rodeos. Because from a safety standpoint, the more training that we can give the trainers, if you will, it will make it that much more professional. And the other thing is, once the requests start coming in, because there haven't been any for over a year and a half, closer to 2 years, it's not going to fall on the same group of individuals. So we want to open this up, and when the details are fleshed out, I will provide it to Cape Fear Cyclists so we can publicize it, because we would like to have ride leaders participate. But we also want individuals to go through this, which would be, it's going to be a Sunday afternoon. And that way we can have teams of people that we can accommodate bike rodeo requests, and requests like that just came through from the Wilmington Fire Department. So it won't fall on the same individuals every time there's an event scheduled. So that's the plan. We talked about doing it September 19th. Eileen, this is pertinent to you. It looks like we're going to have to move it 1 week later to Sunday, September 26th. So mark your calendars, people. It'll be a Sunday afternoon. And more details as we flesh them out I will of course make available to you all. But unfortunately, it's not all about me, but because I'm coordinating, I can't be there on the 19th. I got to roll down to 70.3 Worlds. So I'm going to do that, people. So the 26th works for Tammy, works for me. Eileen, it might be better for you personally.
It is, yep.
Moving it back a little bit more. So as I say, more details will come out. But we know if this event happens in Brunswick County, they want to have a rodeo. We're still on the radar of Wrightsville Beach to have a rodeo. Of course, what's happening in this country, as far as the Delta virus and the numbers might have an impact on that. But we want to be ready to go. So we want to get as many people trained as possible. And I think having the ride leaders for Cape Fear Cyclists is a really, really good move also, and I highly recommend it. So that's where we're at right now. It's all good. Things are happening.
And so that you could send out a request to all Cape Fear Cycle members to see if they wanted to volunteer to go to the 101 event.
Well, we're not going to be, if we had a huge response, we wouldn't be able to accommodate everybody. We're looking for a big enough room right now, because it would have to be inside and outside, because there will be bike riding, but there will be a classroom. We will have to limit the numbers. So I think to start out with, we would want, and Eileen, chime in here if you want, but I think we would definitely want to have ride leaders. They would get the priority. And then depending on how many ride leaders signed up, if we could accommodate more, it would be a first come, first serve. But if it's successful, then we'll plan another one next year. I don't see that we'd be able to get in another one this year. I don't want to overwork Tammy because, she's just so wonderful as far as doing all these things. So, but I think ride leaders are the first priority, in my opinion.
Okay, sounds great. Any questions for Kitty?
No, I just have, I guess congratulations, Kitty. The education program, the education committee kind of just, went toes up for a while. And, thank you, Kitty, for getting that going again. You and Tammy and Eileen. The 101 course, just in case, probably most of you haven't participated. It's a fun course. It's basically, in classroom, kind of here are the laws, here are the standards, here are the sort of things that are important. And then the rest of it is outdoors and on a bike, and it's a lot of fun. And you have a chance to kind of demonstrate some safe riding practices. So,
and every single person.
I don't think you're going to get that many ride leaders to show up, but any ride leader that you get to show up is going to be great. But, somewhere around 25 people is a good number for an LCI, excuse me, for a 101 course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody on this call, I guarantee you, no matter how long you've been riding, if you take this class, you're gonna learn something you didn't know. Whenever I go, I'm like, oh, I thought I knew. Yeah, no, that's new. So it's a great class, like Al said. I hope you all will think about coming. And Tammy's a great teacher.
She is, and she did a great job. The program on Friday was not little kids or bike rodeo kids. These were teenagers. We had boys in the morning and girls in the afternoon. So it was a different audience than what is normal for these things. And we had a blast once we were able. I mean, the boys in the morning, you couldn't shut them up. The girls, you couldn't get them to talk. But as soon as we got everybody on bikes, it was all good. I mean, they were having the times of their lives. So, I just like to publicly thank Eileen because, this first year with jumping into this position, not really getting a feel for what I should be doing or rather could be doing, in times of COVID. And then, basically, the support that I've received and the hand holding essentially has made a huge difference. And now I feel comfortable moving forward and, and Al also, answering questions, providing names and moving forward to me becoming an LCI, which just, I think, lends more legitimacy to what we're doing, both Cape Fear Cyclists and the Benji Foundation, and, the synergy that we're creating between the education and safety efforts with both organizations, I think is really a positive. So, it takes a village to raise Kitty. What can I say?
It sounds great, Kitty. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Kitty.
And we'll move on to Bridget. She has a report she sent out.
Hey everyone. So I was just following up on the proposal for having a Zwift winter series for the club. So I shared this in an email and it's in the Google Drive as well. So I just wanted to see what everyone's thoughts were on as far as duration, if this is something that the board would like to move to all members. And if so, I was planning on building like a survey monkey and sending that out to all of the board or all of the club members just to look at time, interest, day of the week, time of the day, preference on duration or distance, preference on courses, like if they want to change it up weekly, if they all want just flat rides or hilly, things like that. So I can share my screen. I also have the instructions for joining the Cape Fear Cyclist team on Zwift Power, so that we can go through and it'll publish the results from each ride. So if someone wants to make it competitive, we can have those riders they can ride on during the meetup, because there's a place for those of you that are on Zwift, if you do meetups, it does like a no drop. So you ride together, but it'll make it to where you can kind of ride at each your own pace too. So this is what I was going to put in the survey. I wasn't sure who to reach out to as far as getting that push to club members.
Bill would be that. Bill, could you do something with that? The survey?
Yeah, the website people that we host with has a survey function, and it would just be, yeah, you wouldn't have to use Survey Monkey. We can use the club survey thing.
Awesome. I can type it out more formally what we'd be asking.
Yeah, just give me the list of questions, and we'll need some parameters. When's the survey start? How long is it open? And then they provide all kinds of reporting function too. So each question you can see who said yeah. You can even have I'd like a 1 out of 10. I mean, you can have all kinds of stuff. So
awesome. Yeah, that would be great. I'll get with you.
Yeah,
so that we can build that. And then at the bottom, I just attached the instructions. I went through it on my husband's account and did screenshots of how to go into Zwift Power, how to log in, and then add yourself as a team member on Cape Fear Cyclists. So if everyone is in agreement, I'd like to motion to trying to implement the winter series.
I think it's a
Yes,
great.
is there any questions about this to Bridget?
Bridget, do you have any sense for how many club members might already own a Swift system?
I do not know on that. I know we
Okay.
mentioned it in previous meetings and there was a little bit of interest, but I don't know as far as how many in general would.
Okay.
Do we have to move forward? Yes, Beth.
I was just gonna say, I can't wait. I have Zwift and I second the motion.
Okay. So do we have a vote to want to move forward to send out a survey to the club members to see if we can move forward with this Swift? All in favor? Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. Anything else, Bridget?
Yep, Bill, I'll send you an email and then we can settle on a date to meet and get that survey set up.
Super. Looking forward to it.
Great, thank you so much. And moving on, we have Charlie. He has a report with the liaison between
Poor
the road
Bill.
cycle and the community. I've got Charlie is muted.
Yeah, all right, I'm trying. Hope you guys, and let me know if it gets too noisy. I'm trying, I just joined by my phone here. Sorry about being late, but at work, I never know where I'm going and when. So I uploaded a, just kind of an outline to Google Docs. Just kind of, I guess, just trying to kind of come up with something, you know, basically a game plan also for myself. Just kind of moving forward with this kind of off-road position. And so you can, since I'm kind of late, I won't go into like everything. You can just take a look, you know, when you have a chance at Google Docs and just kind of look at the outline and see if there's anything we need to, you know, change or address. But basically, just a few updates. We're getting a ride scheduled for late August. I talked with Mark, Johnny, and we're working to get something on the calendar. We're going to start really basic and just do a Holly Shelter gravel ride. Probably on a Sunday morning, and we're just going to go like 10 miles out and 10 miles back. And that way there's no mapping and routes and things like that. It's just going to be a simple, you know, just to get something started, you know, and then we can move forward from there. So we're moving forward on that. A couple other things that I had on my outline is kind of what I would like to see possibly is if we do this and we get some more gravel riding, then maybe like once a quarter or twice a year, we venture out and we go to maybe Croatan National Park or Uwharrie up in Raleigh or you know, maybe just some different things, you know, to look at doing if this thing grows, if we get some interest. We also got the American Tobacco Trail that has, you know, a couple miles of gravel riding. So we'll just see. We'll start small with the first couple rides, see if we get interest, see if it's something we want to do. But we are at least getting something on the calendar finally in late August. And another thing is, so I've reached out and I've talked to Cape Fear Sorba. They're going through a little transition period right now. So I think we're going to kind of press pause a little bit on the mountain biking, but readdress, you know, look at it again, you know, in a couple months. They're going with a president type of approach, and Greg Brinson is moving back into the mix over there, and I've talked with him a lot, and they don't have any group rides for mountain biking because I was originally thinking if anybody wanted to mountain bike, we would just push them, you know, maybe through the calendar or something like that. Hey, here's something Cape Fear Sorba's doing. If you want to go mountain bike ride, you can go ride with these guys on these days. Right now, they don't have any really group rides. They've got something that they kind of do on Facebook, And from what I understand, it's pretty aggressive. It's more of a race kind of thing when they get together, but they are looking in the fall to have more entry level mountain biking, you know, some things like that, some startup rides hopefully in the fall. And so the other thing I was thinking is we kind of do this, if we do build a relationship back and forth between us and Cape Fear Sorba, you know, we can look at maybe if we don't do, you know, push each other to rides, maybe we go help them on a trail maintenance day. Maybe they come help us on an adopt a highway cleanup. And maybe we do some things like that. Invite the mountain bike crowd to help us pick up trash on the road, and they invite us to maybe go help on some of the trail maintenance days that they have. So working with Greg, talking to him about, you know, doing some things like that, just to kind of get the, you know, the two different groups at least doing some things together. The other thing is I'm hoping as we kind of move forward with this and we kind of get more of the social aspect going, I would like to maybe in the fall. I've been watching a lot of GCN films, you know, the documentaries and things like that. And I was thinking kind of something that the off-road group can do is I'd like to maybe sometime in the fall when the time changes and we can do an outdoor movie, because that way we can start it a little earlier than 9 o'clock at night. We're gonna I'd like to maybe show, and they're usually about 45 minutes long. We'll show a road bike movie, and then we'll show a mountain bike movie.
Nice.
And maybe just do something like that in the fall, you know, and then once we get closer to that. So anyway, that's kind of just some things I put on my outline that I'm kind of trying to just kind of get something going here and move forward with this with the off-road or you know, alternative riding, maybe we call it. So
Great.
yeah,
Great ideas. I'm excited to have something Cape Fear Cyclists gravel on our calendar, official ride. I'm so, and I've asked some of the members, and I've tried to, because some of them are really interested in that off-road riding. Good. And I'm trying to get something. So maybe if we get something going, we can put that, push out to all members that we have a ride that's a 20-miler, you know, in Holly Shelter.
I talked to Mark Johnny, and we're looking at Sunday, August the 23rd right now, possibly doing it. You know, it's nice and quiet, like 8 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, just he's got to look at a couple other things, but that's the tentative plan right now is that Sunday, August 23rd at 8 o'clock. But like I said, once he and I kind of get it ironed out, we're going to make it official and get the message out.
Great. Is that anybody got any questions for Charlie?
No questions, but just an incredible comment. Charlie, you're on an airplane, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
well, folks, think about what's happening here. We're having a meeting with a guy on an airplane.
Well, and I don't usually talk about it a whole lot, but let me just for a quick little. So I'm a corporate pilot. I don't most folks know, but maybe not everybody. So my schedule changes all the time, and I actually called Beth today and left her a message because I was in Austin, and I was hoping that I could be sitting somewhere in Austin tonight when I called in, but when I sent the message that I had to go into work, now I'm in Dallas. So as soon as we got parked here in Dallas, I called into the meeting. So it's pretty special what I get to do.
Yes, it is.
Great.
Very cool.
Glad you're here, Charlie. Glad you could get to the meeting. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay, then that brings us moving on to our apparel manager, our new apparel manager, Bill Wagner.
The guest, Phil asked me to help get open up the ability of our members to buy new jerseys. Last time we had an order was in 2019. And I did some research. Craig Mann's run that organization, that support for 10 years or so. And I talked with him at length about the process and his experiences over the last period of time. I'm a member of a bike club up in Holly Springs near Raleigh. And I talked to their president about their jersey program and got some input from him, but I'm very new at this process and very new at no experience at ordering jerseys. I came out with a proposal a few weeks ago, sent to Phil, and he sent it to many of you. fundamentally, the proposal was to get jerseys out as quick as possible so our new members can have something that shows our club colors, our club symbols, our club brand, and help them enjoy and embrace the pride in the club. I thought there was 40 or 50, but Sandy says there's over 100. In addition, many have been in the club in the last couple of years and haven't had a chance to get a jersey. I myself have never had a chance to buy a new jersey. I got a club jersey that was one of the leftovers from a few previous years. So there's people in the last 2 years that haven't had a chance to buy this club jersey. And speaking about the one that's white with the black band on it with the watermarks on it, it's well recognized and fundamental brand that we have out there. We can order that, and I was looking for the quickest process to get that in order, and I've been talking with our current supplier that we've used for the last 6 years, Primal, and if we get this process started right now, we can have those about mid-October. So that was kind of the proposal. In the proposal was let's explore creating a new jersey, something new and different. That takes some time. I got some feedback after delivering that proposal that some people wanted to emphasize a new jersey. Let's start that. Let's delay purchase until we get a new jersey out. That takes about 9 weeks in a design process and an approval process. I also had some feedback to say maybe we ought to look at some other supplier other than Primal. We've been using them for 6 years. There's a guy locally that was recommended to me, and there probably are others out there. So you have to go through a vetting process. We want to make sure that if we look at a new vendor, we don't hurt ourselves with pricing or delivery or quality. So I'm thinking that takes 6 weeks maybe to vet new supplier. So my proposal is go ahead, get the current jersey out there, offered as quick as possible. We got 100 currently new members, plus some carryovers like myself from the last couple of years that could jump all over that. And also start the process of designing a new jersey. And what that looks to me like is create a committee of interested people that have some artistic skills, have some resources, pick a committee. Sandy has raised his hand. I think Bridget raised her hand saying we'd like to help. The committee would get together and any other resources they want, come up with a variety of designs. It can be a picture of the state of North Carolina or Cape Fear River or bicycle or whatever it is, and it can be a wide range of colors, yellow, greens, blues. So there's many, many options. So that committee would sort through all that, come up with some designs that they kind of agreed with, and then get it to the board, and the board can make a decision. We can start the process. The chasing down new vendor, I can do that. I'd just like to table that for a while. Get this first order out there, use our current vendor. According to Craig, we've had Primal for 6 years or so, and they've delivered flawlessly. We've not had quality problems. We've not had delivery problems. I think they give us a pretty good price. They provide free delivery. We have one destination shipment. So there's no reason that Craig can come up with to say we really need to oust these guys right now. We're not fixing a problem. It's more like an opportunity. Can we do better out there? And it's always worth a look, but I'd like to delay that till maybe after the first of the year. To start the process, there's a communication. I'm preparing communications that will go out to all our members announcing that the team store would open. The team store is a spot on the Primal website that's dedicated to Cape Fear Cycles. And so members who want to order a jersey would go to that site. We send the communication out with a link, both on the website and an email. Click on it, go in there. They can look at the pictures, they can look at the sizes, they can look at the specifications, they can order and pay. The team store would be open for 2 weeks. During that time, we would provide ability to check the fit of the of the jerseys, there's two cuts. There's a sport cut, which is more general, regular cut. That's the slimness or tightness. Then there's a race cut, which is much tighter, more slimmer. So you got a regular cut, if you will, and a trim cut. There are other differences. In the race cut's a little more expensive. The material's a little more technical and things like that. So you got a sport cut and race cut, and then you've got the different sizes, and it's fair to let people try them on. So I've ordered the fit kits, and we'll have those next week. I was going to have them between Phil and I. We're going to give people ample opportunities to try them on, so they know what size, small, medium, or large, and race cut or sport cut. I will offer the fit kits at the picnic and at all the rides, the club rides, for some period just before the picnic and the week afterwards. So people have ample opportunity to find out for sure what that size they really want. And then in addition, we'd also, Craig is recommending, and I agree, we'll offer the arm warmers as well. So you get a jersey and arm warmer, you can select those. There are minimums to order each cut. So the race cut, men's and women's, we need to order 10. The sport cut, men's and women's, we need to order 10. And the arm warmers, we need to order 10. Or we either cancel the order for that particular item, or the club buys those and we put them in inventory. In general, these are custom made. So when you place the order, you're stuck with it. If you don't like the size, you have to deal with it on your own. If there's a quality issue or something like else that, we can deal with that. There will be a series of communications coming out over the next few weeks. And we envision the team store opening in the middle of August and the closing toward the end of August. So we're talking a very fast time frame here. Any questions? Are you supporting the idea? Or do you have a different direction you'd like me to go?
Any questions for Bill on his proposal as a package, as a total deal, what he said? Is there any questions about that?
Bill, are all of the options we have available to us, do they include sleeves or are there any sleeveless options?
At this point, they're just the short sleeve options.
Okay, thanks.
That would be, if we wanted a different option, we would have to sell 10 of them. We'd have to have an order for 10 of those things. Yeah.
Right.
And if we don't come up with the 40 minimum order, the club would purchase whatever it takes to get to the 40 minimum order and then have those available.
So 10. So if we had 10 sport cuts, men and women together,
okay,
we don't have 10 orders for sport cut. If we got 9, we either cancel the order or we buy the difference.
Yeah.
In inventory.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might get a feel, Bill. I like your idea of bringing the fit kits to the picnic, because I think you would then get an idea of whether or not we even need to offer the sport cut.
Right.
And Craig may be able to give you the history on, I think the higher percent of orders come in the regular cut than the sport cut, but I may be wrong. But I think too, getting a little bit of feedback, saying, should we offer both? Or do you think the majority is going to order the regular cut? But I love your idea of bringing the fit kits to the picnic and to rides, because Craig used to have them at the stores, which A, you can't get in the stores half the time anyway because of the pandemic, and B, nobody went. But I think if you bring them to the rides, people are going to be trying them on and get excited. I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
Bill, when are they coming? When are they scheduled to arrive?
I'll get them next week sometime.
Oh, good, good.
Nice.
The question I had is, if we traditionally had an August window for the team store, would it be possible to have an April window, possibly a spring jersey sale with maybe something redesigned?
I asked that question of Primal and haven't got the answer back. My sense is that there's no, they have to fit their schedules. They've got other clients too, but there's nothing that's been said that requires it to be an August one. We could have a spring one. For example, we could maybe offer the new design in the spring. And I just haven't got the answer back to them.
Yeah.
With only 10 required, I'm thinking that if people jump on the current classic traditional design now, there's probably a lot of current club members. All we need is 10 of each cut, race cut or sport cut, to be sure to get an order of the new design in. I think we could find that easily among our current members who already have our traditional jersey.
Hey, Bill, will these jerseys actually that you will have included in the fit kit, will they be our jerseys?
Nope.
No. So
We can
maybe,
bring-
so maybe those of us who have the CF cycle jerseys should bring our own to maybe? Not for other people to try on, but just so they can connect
Yes.
the fit with the,
To the picnic? Are you
Yes.
asking? Yeah, I recommend it. I recommend any board member who is willing, wear
I'll
your,
bring mine. I won't wear it, but I'll bring
just
it.
bring it.
all the new members can see what it looks like.
Good, yeah,
It's a good idea.
Thanks, Linda.
yeah.
The other thing back to Linda's point about sleeveless, April or May would be a great time to offer sleeveless right before the summer began. So if the subcommittee that's looking at a new design, we haven't offered a sleeveless jersey in my recollection in probably 6-7 years. I looked at my sleeveless jersey and it is so old. It's like, just no, you can't use it. So it would be, we're long overdue for sleeveless.
I want one, yeah.
Mhm.
And then I had a question about t-shirts, but I would like to see a t-shirt come out
Me
too.
too. It's been a long time.
Let's table that until I get all this.
Yeah.
Yay,
Yes,
Bill.
yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions for Bill on his proposal? So we move forward to that. Show of hands, we move forward on Bill's proposal. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Mhm. Is there any, we've run long, considerably long. We're going to have our board meetings for 2 hours in the future so everybody can have a chance to just talk with whatever they want to say and get it out. I don't mind that. Myself, I don't mind, but I know some people do. And we'll move Kitty. I've got the note to move Kitty up in the list. So we're going to have that happen next time. Is there any more new business that needs to be discussed or brought up? We've had a pretty good meeting here covering a lot of ground.
The only thing is, Beth, you probably need to start thinking about your nominations for next year.
Oh,
Yeah, you're the past president. I was the past president for literally 5 years, and I am not anymore. And
Kitty,
so,
Eileen, come on, this is your job.
no, it is not. It's yours.
Okay, thank you for the reminder.
But for those of you who ride regularly, who know people in the club, poor Phil's been doing this without the benefit of a vice president. We really need him to have a vice president next year. You know, talk it up. This is a great group. I'm so impressed with the new members and all the great work. I've been on this board since 2008. And the new energy, the new knowledge, the new expertise that's coming is exciting. But we need a full slate of officers for next year. So help Beth out.
and Eileen, thank you for registering for the picnic. I'm so happy you're going to be there. I'm going to rely on you on making a short presentation on number one, because we have so many new members, which is great. But they don't know. They don't understand the process. They don't know who we are. They need to learn. And you do make wonderful presentations. And
Thank you.
I ask you to talk about exactly that, what you just said. We need board members, new blood, but also ride leaders. Again, they don't understand the process. All they're doing is showing up for a Sunday ride or Saturday ride. They don't know that we really need ride leaders. So if you could just.
I'll be happy to help.
Thank you very much.
Happy to do it.
I have two pieces of new information here to squeeze in just a few minutes. One thing was Bill brought up an idea of having the board adopting some ride rules, CFC group ride rules. And I was wondering if we could formulate a committee or something that we could look at and getting a report for adopting rules or having some type of rules for our rides.
Bill, I'll help you with that.
Okay. I mean, the only thing currently on the website is some videos from CGN about, etiquette, but we need something that we as a club stand behind and put on the website, and heaven forbid if it come to it and we need to enforce something, it's there and people know it's there.
Good idea.
If it's safety oriented, I'd be happy to serve. I think having a safety outline that can be given at the beginning of each ride that's nice and short, but that represents the consensus of the club would be very valuable.
I've got like 10 or 11 rules already kind of written, and they're all safety oriented.
Yeah,
Tony. Yeah. So absolutely. Thanks for your help.
The one underneath the 14th rule is smile and have fun. I like that rule. Rule 15 is smile and have fun. I like that one.
Let's keep that one. Phil, I have a question for you about our laws. Is it legal within our bylaws to ask a member not to ride with us again if the membership deems them that person unreliable or reckless? We don't want them to ride with us.
Al, I would defer that to Al. Al, is there a section in our bylaws that says the board members can ask a member to unjoin themselves? Oh, you're muted, Al.
You're muted, Al.
Off the top of my head, I don't think there is, but let me take a look at the bylaws and I'll send you an email.
Okay.
I don't think there is.
All right.
There are provisions for removing for removing board members that don't attend board meetings for 3 successive times. But as far as unmembering a member, I don't think there is. But let me look.
Mm-hmm.
That might be necessary.
Linda, Wayne and I did that. Wayne did a little research on some of that with other clubs and the League of American Cyclists about what different routes to take on a reckless member. And
Okay.
one of their biggest suggestion was they suggested a bike safety course and have people go through a bike safety course. But your reference is to one of our riders had a severe accident 8 weeks ago or something like that, about 8 weeks ago. And one of the people involved had been in 4 incidences and not in our club, but had been involved in incidences. And we're just concerned about where that leads to, another incident involving that. That's that. That's the best way I could tell it without naming names and putting it out there. That there's the board needs to be aware of it. That if we don't do something and another incident happened, that it could come back to us.
So from a historical perspective, I had heard a little bit about this incident, and I want to bring 2 historical perspectives. When I first joined the club and I was a brand new rider, I was trying to, be in the pace line, and the then president of the club, David Dumond, pulled me to the side and he said, listen, you're a new rider, you're new to our club. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm going to have to ask you to let me show you how to ride in a pace line because you clearly don't know how. He was blunt, he was honest, and you know what? He's the reason I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But our leaders today won't do that, Eileen.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm looking at Phil, because
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as the club president, and so to just say, I'm the president of the club, and I'm gonna have a one-on-one conversation with you, and I know this is not easy, Phil, but there's two
Oh, yeah.
parts to my thing, is David Dumont did me the biggest favor of my life by teaching me how to ride. The other person who taught me how to ride is in this call, and his name is Al Shortell. And he showed me a little bit more about riding a pace line. The final person that taught me how to ride is Terry Benji, who got killed. And I'm going to be honest, he was killed because we did not speak to a reckless rider.
Yeah.
I
That's
was there.
exactly the point.
I was there the day Terry died.
Wow.
And I don't wish that on anybody on this call. And everybody that was on that ride was angry because the guy that was reckless had not been taken to the side. So what I say to you is, can you kick him out of the club? Possibly not. But can somebody, maybe Phil not by himself,
Yeah.
Phil with Linda, or Phil with somebody else who's witnessed this behavior? You know, when I used to manage volunteers, I used to have what we lovingly called crucial conversations with people who were volunteering at the hospital. And I'd have to talk to them about what wasn't working. I never did it by myself because you need two people. So Phil, I would not wish you to do this alone.
I already
But I would-
volunteered for the job, Eileen. I already volunteered to
Yeah.
speak with him. If he shows up again at the ride, I reassured a couple members that I would
Yeah.
speak with him. And originally I said I would speak with him to ask him not to ride, but
Right.
later I thought, well, I could say ride in the back or ride with me, or, let's get some
Yeah.
things straightened
Or,
out.
or even a phone call, a proactive phone call, and say, listen, here's what's going on. If you want to ride with us again, here's what we're going to have to ask you to do. Or we're just going to have to, but again, you don't have to kick him out, but you can certainly invite him to follow safe rules or ride elsewhere.
Yeah.
So my
all for it.
experience is deal with it, please.
And I like your word, proactive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to be where we were.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It's
That
bad
was-
enough where we are,
That's right. Where
Well,
we are at
it's
this
a
point.
similar place. It was a known
Yeah.
reckless rider.
Yeah,
Who had-
as we're dealing with, and we lost a valuable member of our club.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Linda, and we've got some
Thanks,
input on
Linda.
that. Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
So is there any new business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting? See my hands? That's all, folks?
That's all.
Great
folks.
meeting, Phil.
Yeah.
Supper time.
All right.
I'm
Thanks for
done.
coming out.
I noticed you eating. Yeah.
It's
I'm
great
hungry.
Let's
to
ride.
be
Be
with
safe.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks, Phil.
Bye.
Bye.